Hi everyone there, my name is Deriva Tukashara from Audi of Africa SS Mukono, and I am so happy to be here today. Our resolution of today's states, this South would front the ongoing exhibitions on social media in Uganda as the most effective means of ending corruption. Here I have Lomodesto Holmas, Anzo Leonard, Tisache, and I myself. Hello everyone, my name is Namara Sandra, one of the debaters on the Kyambogo College team, and this is us. This is Kawesa Ryan, our first speaker. Me, myself, Namara Sandra, the second speaker. We have Alito Enoch, our third speaker. And finally, we have Katende Honington, our fourth speaker. Today, we are going to be debating the motion. This House would front the ongoing social media exhibitions in Uganda today as the most effective means of ending corruption.
We expect a rough challenge that we can win and then proceed to the next round, so that we can, this year we can make it to the finals and emerge victors as Duke in Alton, the Buffaloes will always win. Thank you.
We shall ensure personally and individually that Our Lady of Africa's High School Mukono gives in the best and we shall turn out victorious. Thank you.
House rules. Each speaker has 5 minutes. The first and last minutes are protected. The judge will ring a bell to signal the protected time. The bell will ring continuously after 5 minutes.
This house would front the ongoing exhibitions on the different social media platforms on corruption in Uganda today as the most effective means of ending corruption. According to the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary 9th edition, it defines an exhibition as a public display of works of art or items of interest held in an art gallery or museum or trade fair. Social media, according to the Cambridge Advanced Learners Dictionary, is defined as a broad category or gene of communication media which occasion and enable interaction among groups of people. Examples of these include TikTok, X, WhatsApp, among others. Therefore, social media exhibitions can be defined as a public display of information that in form of pictures, videos, among other forms on the different social media platforms. Corruption is defined in the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary 9th edition as dishonest or immoral behavior usually by people in position. Forms of corruption include bribery, embezzlement, and graft. Most effective is defined as performing or functioning in the best possible manner with the least waste of time or effort. Ending, an end or final part of something. Front is to present something or to propose something. Perimeter, we take our perimeter exclusively as corruption in Uganda. The status quo right now is that corruption in Uganda is very rampant, that the IGG reports that up to 2.2 trillion shillings is lost. When Uganda was ranked on a scale of 0 being most corrupt and 100 being very clean, Uganda scored 26. This is information from the Corruption Tendency Index. There are social media exhibitions currently running in Uganda is the hashtag parliamentary exhibition, which is criticizing corruption in the House. It cites out the speaker on allegations of extravagant spending and corruption in the House. We have had exhibitions that have run before in Uganda, and these exhibitions have been able to produce results. We have under the hashtag Kampala Potholes exhibition, which was run in 2023, which exposed the poor state of roads in Kampala city, where people were encouraged to plant banana trees in potholes. And this exhibition was able to yield results in a way that KCCA took action. Initially, these bodies had started playing a blame game between KCCA. The Lord Mayor had started accusing KCCA, and KCCA had started accusing government of not funding. But when these exhibitions kept pushing for justice, that is only when these bodies stopped playing that blame game and took action. Until to date, they have started renovating roads in Uganda. We come here exclusively as the Anti-Corruption Coalition of Uganda to play our role, which is to empower citizens to actively and sustainably demand for transparency and accountability from the public and private sector. We have come here with the intention to present to the House, which is Parliament, that social media, if used well, is the most effective way of ending corruption in Uganda. However, social media will work very effectively as the most effective if it is used as a catalyst or as a drive push factor for the other means. We believe that social media can be used by the Parliament to end corruption, but Parliament has to work with the following stakeholders to do this: with the Public Procurement Authority, with the Auditor General, with the Ministry of Finance, with the Directorate of Public Prosecution, with the Inspectorate of Government, with the Criminal Investigation Department, with the Anti-Corruption Unit. We come here, we say that if you pose the question of how is social media going to be used to end corruption, one, when you create these hashtags and trend these hashtags are going to attract people to post information. And when this information is posted, it is investigated by by the Inspectorate of Government, Criminal Investigation Department, and Anti-Corruption Unit. When information on these from these hashtags is found out and this information is taken in, what is it? It is, one, the people who posted this information, who are called whistleblowers, will be called out as witnesses, and the Directorate of Public Prosecutions will be able to take the criminals identified from those cases to courts of law so that they may be prosecuted. One, people who post misinformation on this, when they make it a habit, their accounts on social media will be blocked and they will be investigated for why they are doing this. What role does social media play in this? Social media plays a key role of creating awareness. It plays a key role of since it's timekeeping, it plays a key role in that. It plays a role of alerting and a role of creating pressure. I expect proposition to come and answer a question of what other means is the most effective if social media is not effective.
This house would front the ongoing exhibitions on different social media platforms on corruption in Uganda today as a most effective means of ending corruption. So I didn't like the definitions by the affirmative, so I will redefine the cases. We'll define front as making something a priority or putting it on the front line of something else, because compared to what they claimed is to propose something. So how are they proposing social media according to their definition of front? I did not understand that clearly, so I redefine. I'll redefine social media platforms as sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram that provide information and share information and ideas between people. I'll redefine most effective as the best means to achieve something, and I'll redefine corruption as dishonest, fraudulent or fraudulent conduct, which exists in forms like bribery, tribalism, nepotism, and embezzlement of funds. And then I'll come here and explain to you what I'm going to do. I'm here to redefine, as I've just done, the cases. I'm here to rebut the affirmative stand. I'm here to define the negative stand. I'm here to analyze status quo and prove to you beyond reasonable measure that exhibitions are not the most effective means. As claimed by the affirmers, exhibitions can catalyze. So basing on what they are saying, exhibitions are not the most effective, but they just aid. So this is what we are claiming as team negative. So our sources are the Transparency International website, Inspectorate of Government reports of 2023, 2022, and 2021, the Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology website, ministries, departments, and agencies of government, that is MDA, National Information Technology Authority, and we agree as team negative that social media is one of the contributing factors in the fight to end corruption, not to end corruption, but it is not the most effective. As the reason as to why we claim it's not the most effective is that it only provides information to these anti-corruption bodies. So what we've come here to claim is, after you've told us this information, then what? That's why we come in and we tell you that, hey, as team negative, we understand that social media is a form of fighting corruption, but it's not the most effective. So what do we come here and tell you? We're going to analyze this basing on risk analysis, which is going to analyze the risk of basing on the person who is posting this information. We're going to look at the impact analysis. We're going to look at the comparative analysis of the two cases. We're going to look at audience engagement. So what is our alternative?
POI.
What we assume is that a multi-pronged approach that will combine online campaigns and offline advocacy is the best means to end corruption. So what we realize is online advocacy works, but it can't work on its own, because just like they claimed, there is misinformation, but they do not tell us what that does to the individual that they posted misinformation about. Imagine that the same saga they talked about, the parliamentary search. What are they talking about here? They came out and they told us that the speaker is being investigated about for cases of corruption. So what do you think this has done to the speaker as a person? They are spreading information about her that can be true or false. So what does this do? It leads to damage of personal privileges. It leads to mistrust in the community. So what do we realize? That social media plays a vital role, but is not the most effective means to end corruption. We note that social media provides information that lays the first brick in ending corruption, and these other means that we're going to base on the most are legal frameworks and offline investigations, and these work to pose a direct link in fighting and ending corruption. Realize that these other forms of fighting corruption place the other block in order to end corruption. Realize that the team that stands to win this debate is a team that justifies why their means are most effective to end corruption. Realize that it is to end corruption. Realize that the worst corrupt person is one who is corrupted in the mind, and we are here to consider offline advocacy, and we are here to consider means like offline advocacy in the different forms that the current continuing speakers are going to explain. I leave a question that what percentage in figures that show that online exhibitions are the best means to end corruption?
This is the High School Crossfire. We'll be back in a minute.